All right, Edmonton, time for the world famous parent panel. We've got 3 all-stars with us today to talk about parents' performance anxiety. Yeah, that's right. It's out there and it's real. An example came up recently on today's Parent, talking about this idea of the leprechaun trap. I'd never heard of it, but if you're not familiar with it, like I'm not, it's a lot like Elf on the Shelf. Basically, you're creating a situation where maybe your kids can think maybe they catch a leprechaun the next morning. It's a very exciting time. We all know leprechauns are real, but there's a lot of people put a lot of stress on building up these ideas and making each holiday special. So do we put too much pressure on ourselves? We'll start here with Sarah about dealing with this parent performance anxiety.
Oh, I can only personally say that I don't put a lot of personal pressure on myself when it comes to the holidays. At my house, we don't even do the tooth fairy. I suppose if one of my children brought it up to me, I would be open to it, but I just have generally not the type to initiate those things. Another thing could be that since I'm a first-generation Canadian, my parents also did not make a big fuss out of certain holidays that were not the holidays they grew up with. So we make a big deal out of Chinese New Year and the Lunar Festival, which, but that's more of a community thing and less of a only parents and kids thing. And it's not just something to make kids feel special. It's a New Year's thing for the whole community. So I don't know if I'm the best person to speak on behalf. I don't feel a lot of pressure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, as far as the leprechaun trap, that was never a thing for me, per se, the trap. With our daughter, I started it 1 year, and it's the pressure to keep up year after year after year. So eventually, the first year I was like, balloons and the golden coins and the footprint. Yeah. Wow. Now it's like, I eat the chocolate, I have a green beer, that's it. Like, that's it. Right. So, you know, I think there's also that kind of pressure to make sure that you're, what do you do next year? How do you, you know, how do you keep up, you know, and do something, special and make it, and you're right, it kind of, there's a thought that it dilutes the rest of the holidays when you're celebrating absolutely everything.
So how do you pick the ones you really want to hit?
I'm a big Christmas girl, so I love that. I love Christmas. You know, and I just think as they get older, I think that there's a lessening of importance in the littler. But you're right, tooth fairy, I don't do the tooth fairy.
But Christmas is one that transcends parent and children, because Christmas becomes a thing about friends.
And family and community.
And giving, there's a lot of giving.
Can I just say I hate the Elf on the Shelf, so I couldn't imagine.
I was so happy.
Like, we do the Elf on the Shelf.
What do you like about it?
The pressure of every night, did you do the elf? No. Did you do the elf? Paper, rock, scissors, go do the elf, and then you like chuck it under the couch, and you're like, good enough. You know, like every night for 6 weeks, you're trying to figure out something to do with the elf. I couldn't imagine doing it with a leprechaun as well, too.
No.
But I'm also the parent who forgets to sign the permission slips, and you're lucky if you get lunch, and like, you know, things are kind of happening. But we do take those bigger holidays, and we do try and make them special. But things like this is just a total pain in the butt.
So
you check the Pinterest, like the moms on Pinterest.
But once you do it well, though, do it so well, and I'm so envious
to them.
Absolutely.
Wish I could.
Bless them. Yes.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we're gonna hit the high ones and not lower the low ones. Right? Is that what I'm saying? But what if your child is really into
whatever's special to you and to your family and your traditions, I think that's how it comes out for your family, right? Just like Sarah was saying. So it gets passed on from generation to generation. And so if St. Patrick's Day is your thing, I mean, I'm going to pinch them if they're not wearing green, and that's about the extent of that. But if it's Christmas or whatever it happens to be, then we focus on those. Because you can't be everything to every holiday.
So basically what you're saying is you're wasting your energy if you're trying to raise the bar or have this performance anxiety.
We're not wasting people's energy.
Okay.
It's just a lot of pressure.
Do what works for you.
Do what works for you. We're trying to be very politically correct here, Jason.
But
do what is good.
But what if your kids want it? Then you're doing what works for them.
They can do it then.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
A leprechaun trap, you could give me a whole day, a room full of stuff. I would never come up with something.
Yeah, but I think the kids would have fun coming up with, and in fact, I might do that. Say, let's come up with a trap for the leprechaun on the one day, not a whole bunch of days like leading up to it. Maybe I'd stick a leprechaun in it. Great, now I have an idea for a new tradition. You know, like
then you're doing that for the next 15 years.
Let the kids see. They
now
can
you're
do
committed.
it.
Now you're committed.
No.
Oh, you don't do it for 1 year and say, oh, no more leprechauns.
They don't come anymore. Yeah. Killed the leprechaun.
Yeah.
No, it is because I think there is some anxiety, and I love what you said. There is a lot of battle to try to raise the game every year, and I think that even in our mind for family vacations, sometimes you build that up a little bit in your mind. And, okay, we did this year, we want to do this next year or whatever. And I think we do have a little bit of anxiety building up towards making sure our kids have a quote-unquote perfect childhood.
But it's less about the things, right? I mean, at the end of the day, my dad always says, you know, whatever, you're going here, you're going there, you go for dinner, who's paying, whatever. At the end of the day, it's the time you spend together. So if that's just a daily routine you have, eating your normal family dinner, great. If that means you get to go on great trips, okay. And if that means that your mom does or doesn't, or your parents do or don't celebrate in a big or a small way certain things, I think every family's got to set their own tone. But I think it's the time you spend together and the experiences that you're collecting as a family that are probably what are at the root of this.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. Sorry to interrupt you. We've got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the idea of redshirting in kindergarten. This idea come down from the States. We'll tell you what it is, and we think it should happen. Stay with us for that, Edmonton.